The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John.
Glory to you, O Lord.
There was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is in Jerusalem at the sheep gate a pool called in Hebrew Bethesda, with 5 porticos. In these lay a large number of ill, blind, lame, and crippled. One man was there who had been ill for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there, he knew that he had been ill for a long time. He said to him, "Do you want to be well?" The sick man answered him, "Sir, I have no one to put me into the pool. When the water is stirred up, while I am on my way, someone else gets down there before me." Jesus said to him, "Rise, take up your mat and walk." Immediately the man became well, took up his mat, and walked. Now that day was a Sabbath. So the Jews said to the man who was cured, "It is the Sabbath, and it is not lawful for you to carry your mat." He answered them, "The man who made me well told me, 'Take up your mat and walk.'" They asked him, "Who is the man who told you, 'Take it up and walk'?" The man who was healed did not know who it was, for Jesus had slipped away since there was a crowd there. After this, Jesus found him in the temple area and said to him, "Look, you are well. Do not sin anymore, so that nothing worse may happen to you." The man went and told the Jews that Jesus was the one who had made him well. Therefore, the Jews began to persecute Jesus because he did this on a Sabbath. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Bulahang adlaw, brothers and sisters. In this our gospel reading today, we take a little peering or kanang mutanaw ta, no, mo lit ta in the very context of the gospel reading when Jesus healed that crippled man by the pool of Bethesda, and it is the Sabbath. Now, Sabbath, of course, as prescribed in the Mosaic law, there are no works to be done. But here we are not just talking about how it is being promulgated, but we are talking about God, who is, by the way, I remember my spiritual director back in the spiritual pastoral formation year when I was still at seminary. He said, if God winks his eye even a little degree of a second, the world will be in trouble. Why? Because this very beautiful healing that Jesus did, the third miracle or sign that Jesus did in the Gospel of St. John, is to tell us something of the truth that God, as Psalm 121 would say, that God never sleeps, that God never slumbers. That even during the Sabbath, it is a rest day, yes, but even during the Sabbath, God continues his providential care and touch to all of us. And this is something that we can also we can take into perspective, because rest is also very necessary, and rest can actually give a cure or a healing, especially when we are almost doing everything during the week. We have to have a rest. That is why rest, or the Sabbath, or the day of rest, is not just only for praying, but also for resting, so that we can regain the strength that we are using for the rest of the week. And so as we continue with this Eucharistic celebration, putting in mind the need and the necessary moves that we have in order to recuperate from the strengths and the energies that we have spent, we have to value rest, because that is God's gift as well. Amen.